I'm Caitlin Allen and I'm an acupuncturist in Leeds running a very busy practice, and I specialise in fertility work. James and I have worked quite closely together over the last 2 or 3 years, and he was instrumental for me when I was setting up in business 3 years ago and really developing what I was doing. We started off by looking at whether a website would be a viable way of drawing in new clients for me and expanding my client base. And James was really clear about trying to work out what it was that I would be offering as an acupuncturist that would be different from other people. Who was the market that I was really trying to reach, and what would the website really need to have on it in able to reach those people and attract them. We then put together a whole package that he was doing for me, which involved not only looking at and then managing the website, but also putting out 3 newsletters by email each year. The website has continually been updated. We've recently put a video on there, for instance, of me talking about some of the work that I do and what people can expect. And that's been really useful, because now, instead of people ringing up with a general query or inquiry about whether they should come, when they make the phone call to me, they've actually decided already that they want to have the treatment. So in terms of it translating into business, that happens much more quickly. I was able to work out that the money that I was paying to advertise with certain other people, such as Yell.com, was a complete waste of money in terms of how many people actually looked at the website and came through as new business. So James has actually saved me quite a lot of money as well in terms of business expenditure over the last 3 years. I think one of the main factors of me working with James is that the result is that I am one of the busiest acupuncturists in Leeds. When I look at other people in the field, a lot of people are struggling to be working full time. Generally, in the market it is today, people don't expect to have a busy, flourishing practice, and I do. And largely I think that is because 70% of my new business comes via the internet. And that is largely a result of the success of my website that James and I built. One of the things that James and I did was he managed a Google Ads campaign for me, which I took much convincing about at the beginning, but it did really help to take me up the Google list and was a very successful component of trying to draw in new business. James continues to update the website on a regular basis, encouraging me to write news stories regularly, which keeps the site feeling very fresh and keeps me up on the Google ratings. It's always a pleasure working with James. I work alone. I work as a sole trader on my own in my own practice, which potentially is quite isolating. And one of the things that's really important for me is that I have certain people around me supporting me in the work that I do. And I would say that James is one of those key people. Sometimes I actually feel that James understands more about my business and who I am as a brand than I do. So it can be very useful to touch base with him. And a lot of the decisions that I make about my business and in what direction I might want that business to go, I actually go to James to talk about that.